After watching Once Upon a Witch's Death, I walked away feeling disappointed.
There was potential for an interesting story and world building. I had been wanting a fantasy set in the modern time and wondering how that would feel, but this show just didn't quite get there.
Meg has absolutely no sense of urgency, and it really, really bothers me. I don't like when shows set such high stakes and then yada yada along afterwards. It ruins any tension that the conflict could have generated. Like, if it were me, I would have been stressing out so much to meet her quota of 3 tears of joy a day.
It doesn't help that the show doesn't even show us getting half of the tears.
The story starts with trying to solve people's problems and get the tears that way, but after a few episodes it switches to learning magic and meeting the other 7 sages. I feel like she could have just wedding crashed or gone to a birthing center to farm tears of joy.
Makes me wonder if they had an unspoken rule that she had to be the one to cause the tears of joy.
And then the show seemed to want her to work on them individually. I guess that's why episode 6 made her feel bad about not cherishing each tear that she'd already earned. And Meg is a bit of a lecher. It doesn't happen all the time, but just enough to be annoying. But she is very confident and hardworking when she puts her mind to it, and she pulls off some very impressive feats of magic.
The magic was by far the most redeeming part of this show, with the beautiful and impactful moments that they created with it.
Thinking especially about the fireworks show.
That's the one for you?
Yeah.
Not the cherry blossoms in the cemetery?
I think that one was too bittersweet, and it wasn't so much of like a marvel, but it was the first time that we ever saw her doing anything large scale. I also thought Eldora was the coolest character, but to my dismay, she wasn't there that much. And continuing with the silly names, the Wolfman was named Woof. Realistically, I should have dropped this after 6 episodes, but at that point I was too deep and I needed to know if she was going to suffer from her inaction, or if the story was going to come up with a loophole to the curse, or a large-scale way to earn tears. She did save an entire town from a tsunami, which did help with her tally.
I feel like those last few big events, the tsunami and tree spirit, she kind of stumbled into and got lucky with being in the right place at the right time rather than actually trying to gather tears.
But in the finale, she has less than 6 months left to live and decides to just go on a journey to find her birthplace instead. So it felt like the story deviated completely and there was absolutely no payoff.
This show had a lot of good spectacles, but Meg felt dragged along in her own life rather than fight to survive that the show could have been.
This was a 5 out of 10 for me.
Probably closer to a 6 for me.